Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been a little while since I have made a video, so I wanted to hurry and make a video telling you where I have been, why I haven't been uploading, and kind of give you more of an update about what I am doing with my financial portfolio as far as how I'm distributing my wealth right now, and where I'm putting my money as far as investing goes, and what kind of plans do I have when it comes to the stock market and the real estate market especially. I definitely want to talk about. How do I feel about the chances of a possible recession? Like I had talked about 3 months ago, around the time that I was still uploading more frequently. So first of all, the reason I haven't really been here is just because in the midst of buying a new property and moving into a new house, I just have not had time between being a dad, working a full-time job, trying to manage my real estate, and just doing all my other little side gigs. I have a couple of little side jobs that I do as well as part-time work. And so between all that, it's been really hard to make any videos, but I do want to start trying to produce some more content again for you guys. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a less frequent upload schedule, maybe just something every 2 weeks or something, even if it is just a little bit of a video similar to this, to where it's just me sitting down in front of a camera and kind of talking about things, whether it be finance or whatever kind of related video I want to make, really, whatever I feel like I want to produce, that's what I'm going to put on the channel. As far as my opinions on the economic outlook for the entire country and for kind of where I see markets going in the future, I really do believe that I feel like we had some foreshadowing with our first GDP print this last quarter. I have not been super bullish on the market for at least 2.5 months now, I feel like, whether it be stocks or real estate, really. I feel like we're definitely capped on where we can go since we do not have a Fed now that is actually accommodative. I feel like whenever we have periods that the Fed is not accommodative and actually trying to tighten the markets a little bit, it's just natural and kind of part of the secular nature of what the economy in the United States really is. And, these recessions GDP declines, right, in the economy actually aren't that bad of a thing. They mean that people might lose some money, or that some people might wind up slowing down, or that maybe the labor market isn't quite as tight, right? But overall, it's almost kind of like a breath. If it were like even a whale or something that had to come up for the surface for air every now and then, it's kind of one of those breaths for air for a minute to kind of cool down economies and to actually kind of get things back to being a little bit more healthy. And then boom, eventually we have the Fed can go back to being accommodative to the market. And now we actually have another really good bull market again that we can invest in. And it seems like as time has progressed, at least, these bull markets seem to be getting a little bit longer and a little bit longer. So it's definitely possible that we will get a little bit of a longer bull market after whatever type of an economic event might happen, whether it's a recession or what have you, right? So what am I doing? So my stock portfolio is really, really simple. I do own some stocks right now. I actually just barely bought back in not too long ago. Before that, I was really just kind of swing trading the SQQQ and the QQQ itself, just kind of playing market events and trying to play off catalysts just to make some money, some swing trade money. And I did make a little bit, not a lot. I'm not super happy about any way that it went, but I walked out with more money than I started with. But it's been kind of a crappy market, so to make money at all, I'm happy. But right now, I did reinvest for some long positions in a couple of companies. My first company is Google. I think Google is going to be a wonderful backbone for a portfolio right now. And again, none of this is financial advice for any of you. It's just what I'm doing. But I love Google because of the fact that it's a really strong runner. It's a giant company that's got its fingers in everything, it seems like. One thing that I think that nobody really gives it credit for, well, people do give it credit for, but I think it's worth more than what a lot of people feel like, is actually YouTube itself, what you guys are watching on right now. I feel like eventually this is going to be the main way that people want to actually consume content and actually want to learn different things. I mean, it's giant, and you can basically learn anything that you want to learn on YouTube, and it's a wonderful platform. And I feel like as more young people discover it, and as more generations get more involved with it, it's going to be awesome. I think YouTube's going to go a long way, and it has a lot more growth potential behind it than what we already see. Anyway, but there's more about Google. I don't want to cover it. This isn't a Google video, but that is one of my holdings, and the PE is low. I mean, you're paying like a 20. I think when I bought it, it was at a 19 point something PE, for a forward PE ratio, it's wonderful, right? My other holding right now I have is Apple. I actually owned them going into the earnings. I was disappointed when even on good earnings, they still wound up falling. I'm not too sure why I didn't look too much into it, just because with Apple, truthfully, for me, it's more of just a safe haven stock. I don't know a whole bunch of the fundamentals, to be honest with you, other than just what I know Apple is as a consumer of Apple. But I know that it's definitely in the stock market, a safe haven stock, and usually a little bit of a slower ride. So that's a reason why I have a small position in Apple. I think literally like less than 10% of my portfolio is in them. But either way, I definitely wanted to own a little bit of Apple, just because I do like buying it when it's around that 200-day moving average, kind of where it was when I rebought. And I think that's usually a decent balance point. I mean, if it keeps going down, then it keeps going down, but I felt like it was a decent entry point. My other holding that I have right now is Tesla. So I actually wound up buying some Tesla before it had dove, and I had actually owned a little bit of Tesla before the last earnings report as well, which was phenomenal, by the way. But yeah, I've just been kind of accumulating Tesla shares, because as far as my more risky asset, and actually where I'm putting quite a bit of my money, just because I'm really not super heavy in stocks, and so what I do put in it, then I'm wanting to maybe speculate a tad bit more for myself right now. So I'm putting most of my money probably into Tesla, which a lot of people would not advise, and I don't advise for anybody really to do, unless it is money that you can afford to lose, or like even lose half of. Because as much as I have to admit that Tesla fundamentally, and if their business model continues to be what it has been for this last little while, I think they're going to just keep on producing amazing numbers and keep on killing it as far as earnings go. And I feel like the company itself has so much potential in so many different ways. I mean, my last video that I put up talking about how it can change civilization with that Optimus robot is really going to be a game changer. And I do believe Elon when he says that that could definitely be bigger than the car industry. And that's really kind of what I'm betting on, especially right now, is that. But on top of that, I do believe that their actual car company, where they're actually making most of the revenue right now as well, is a rock solid automobile company. It's the best one in the world as far as it goes, as far as margins, as far as numbers and fundamentals go. And, you know, even though their wind and their solar has been slowing down a little bit, I still believe that as more adoption happens, and as maybe the economy starts to pick up some, some speed again after we get through this tightening cycle, then we might get to actually see a little bit more of that wind and solar actually being used again on a residential level, and a little bit more commercial as well. But anyway, Tesla is a solid company, and so for me, I like to invest in it, even though it is a little bit more of a speculative play. But, you know, I think at these levels, it's really not that speculative of a buy for most people. I think they would agree. The other company that I'm buying right now is NVIDIA. And the reason why I'm buying NVIDIA is because I think that as a chip maker, and the position the way that they are, and the contracts that they have with different people like Apple, like they're making autonomous vehicle chips for different manufacturers, I guess, as far as like a full self-driving kind of thing like Tesla does. They're just in everything. I mean, everybody, as far as crypto goes, they wanted NVIDIA gaming cards to be mining their crypto with. NVIDIA and their graphics cards and microcomputers and anything that NVIDIA is working on right now is literally the stuff of the future. It is where technology is going. And so as far as tech goes, I feel like investing in NVIDIA is being like on the front line of the tech innovation space. And so for me, buying NVIDIA at these prices under 200 right now has been really, really a great opportunity, especially for a while when especially it was like on Jim Cramer and everyone that was buying NVIDIA. It was getting really expensive to buy NVIDIA, but now it's really not too bad of a buy. So right now it's actually underneath the 200-day moving average, and it's off of its main trend line if you kind of just draw a line up from all the bottoms where it generally bounces. So in my opinion, as far as the technical aspect goes, it looks like a decent entry point for NVIDIA as well. So that is what I'm doing with my stock portfolio. Really basic, just 4 stocks for now. We'll see if I add any more, and if I do, then I'll let you know. No, I do not have any SoFi, for anyone that is wondering. Right now, I am keeping my hands out of non-profitable companies, just because of the reason that right now in an economy, especially if we do wind up going into a recession, that's where the stock market likes to dump very first, is your non-profitable companies that have a chance of going bankrupt. I'm not saying that SoFi will, because I think it's a great company, but let me just tell you, I don't think it's worth holding through the time that we possibly might have right now with the Fed tightening the economy the way that they're going to. Okay, so let's move on a little bit into real estate. What am I doing with my real estate? So right now, my real estate, as far as actual value goes, is worth right around $1 million. So I found out that my home that I just barely purchased, I purchased it for like $375,000, and there's a comp to it right now on the market for $505,000. So that one I've already made over $100,000 on. And then as far as my equity goes. And then as far as my first property, that one has also continued to appreciate. So as far as my actual like positive equity in the homes if I were to combine it. I think I have somewhere around, it was like $360 something thousand of positive equity between the two properties. So my plan was actually for a little while, I've been wanting to possibly sell my first home, which I know is kind of interesting because most of the time you wouldn't want to sell, but I have so much equity in there. And I feel like if I were to take that equity out and actually have physical cash instead of like a HELOC, which is what I do have on that first property as well, I just don't want a high interest rate HELOC though, because of how high the rates are going to go with the Fed, which is why I don't really see that as a good way of using it. So that's why I'm possibly wanting to sell it. But what I'm seeing is that the economy does kind of have a little bit of a collapse, and we do start to see the housing market come down in value as well, especially as rates get more expensive through this tightening cycle. Then you know that the housing market, especially in my opinion, is actually kind of set to have a little bit of a slowdown and a reduction in pricing. So I want to take some of that money possibly from that first home and maybe go out there and actually try and turn that money into 2 or 3 units or something like that, or maybe even buying like a duplex or a threeplex if I can find it. The problem is here in Southern Utah where I'm at, properties are really super expensive. Right now the price per foot I think is around $290 a square foot, which is insane. So I'm hoping that if we do get a little bit of a reduction in pricing, then it'd be a good opportunity to go buy, because this market and this economy down here, as far as where I'm at, it is super hot. It's actually one of the fastest growing cities in the whole nation. So I think that is actually a really a decent place to be buying real estate. I just want to see a little bit of a cool down on the market before I re-enter. And I mean, to me, a testimony that we're at the top of a market is the fact that I've been living in this house I just purchased since February now. So it's only been around 2 months, a little over 2 months, like 2.5, 3 months max, right? And already have made over $100,000 in equity. That kind of appreciation that quick seems really, really crazy, especially on a home I paid $375,000 for. It's just an insane return. It seems really topsy to me. But anyway, I'm definitely grateful for it. I mean, that's an insane come up as far as that goes, and so I'm happy as far as that property goes. But it definitely does seem a little bit risky. So I might be selling that first house, but at the same time, rents in the area have been going up as well with the house pricing going up, and I am just in that house. It's such a good deal. I think I only owe like $260 something on it right now as far as my mortgage goes. My payment's only like $1,370 I think for the house, because I got like a 2.375 interest rate on it. So I can literally like cash flow over $1,000 a month on that property if I want to. So it's definitely a good rental property as far as income goes. And so, you know, I have been kind of trying to juggle the idea whether I want to sell and actually take the tax loss and all the problems as far as that might go, and risk a 1031 exchange maybe getting done in time or not, and possibly having to pay really, really big taxes, you know. So I don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air on trying to decide what I want to do. A lot of it's just trying to bet how much of a market correction might we get. So I've actually been kind of watching the 10-year bond market a lot, the 10-2 a lot. I've been watching and studying some of these break evens as well for inflation expectations. And you know, been really just keeping my eye on the Fed, and I'm waiting for this next rate increase, especially before I kind of move forward and make most of these decisions. But that's kind of the things that I've been thinking about lately. So again, I know it's been a long time since I had uploaded, so it was kind of nice to hurry and just sit down and kind of give you an update on where I am at. I hope that all you guys have been doing well in this economy. I know it's a little bit tough right now, but at the same time, it seems like a lot of people out there are making a lot of money if you're a business owner or if you're somebody that is in the right kind of industry. So I hope that you guys have been doing well out there and taking advantage of a hot, overheating economy, in my opinion. But either way, I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day, and thanks for checking out this video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button down below and the subscribe button down below as well, and turn on that notification bell if you do want to be notified anytime that I do upload, even though if it's going to be a little bit less frequent than it was before. But anyway, guys, until the next video, we'll see you later. Bye.